¿Qué hace, loco? ¿Qué se cuenta? Seguimos con el Bombal Flames. Che, tenemos que. Estamos. A ver. ¿Qué pasó en el otro capítulo? Hay gente que se está poniendo loquita. Está en modo zombie. En modo zombie nocturno. Y nada, estamos viendo qué pasa, ¿no? ¿Quién es el que los está convirtiendo? En el trayecto que llegamos acá a esta cueva, resulta que el demonio se está apoderando aún más de nuestro cuerpo. Él pone, a ver, el motivo de por qué lo está haciendo es porque justamente estamos en un lugar donde la persona que está poseyendo a esta gente también nos quiere poseer a nosotros. Entonces el demonio está evitándolo que haga eso, ¿no? Pero obviamente, el haber aceptado el demonio, aceptamos un poder de fuego que va a ser mucho más grande, pero tenemos una disminución en la resistencia al frío. Entonces, bueno, tenemos pro y contra, ¿no? Va a aparecer algo acá. Va a aparecer algo acá, así la tiene, loco. Este es el diámetro. Mira cómo grita, loco. Mientras camina la está arrastrando más o menos. Me hace acordar a la película Underworld. ¿Qué es un vampiro, loco? A piña, a piña, a piña. ¿Dónde está la nigromante? Dale, guachín.
So you're the one who's been spying on the village. You know what I'm thinking? I understand why you'd rather not show up in person. Oh yeah, I don't hear your voice in my head anymore, actually. You must have figured that out, right? So if you've got a message to deliver, you're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Forget it. I came down here to do two things. Look for mushrooms and kick somebody's ass. And guess what? I ain't found any mushrooms.
Pega duro el loco este, ¿eh? Dale, el negromante. A ver cómo se cura, ¿no? Se está curando. A ver cómo. Ah, lo tiene paralizado el loco. Qué buena, ¿eh? Bien la negro, ¿eh? La necro. Ahí se. ¡Sí! Dame un besito, un besito. Así le hace. Dame un besito, loco. Acá el juego que hay en dos. Cortarle la cabeza. Bien, la necro paraliza, ralentiza también. Y no sé si tira veneno, me parece que sí.
Do you believe you've won a victory, mortal? The dead walkers come. Your pathetic little village has been discovered, and soon will no longer exist. Today I fall, but dozens of new brothers and sisters will rise from the dead. The Dark Lords will raise me up again, and they will reward me.
Well, your Ice Lords have never messed with a Powder Master, now have they?
If you listen to the rabble who actually live in the swamps, we should head back to the village now. If he was right, and a general is directing the attack, only your power could stop them.
No, loquito. A ver. Tenemos habilidades. Piromancia. Probabilidad de prender fuego a un enemigo. Chau. Ese está bueno. Che, las dagas no... No sé, che. Voy a dar un nivel a ese que quizás me pueda servir. Capacidad de interrupción. Ah, pensé que claro, pues le agregué una piromancia. Bueno, no importa. Y este, tengo un punto. Ese vapor. Hay mucho calor adentro, ¿eh? Le puse en
I
modo
know this
migate.
place. The village is not far away to the right.
Ah, mirá, aparecieron bichos nuevos. Ese gordo explota. Todos los gordos en los videojuegos explotan, loco. Y todos se envenenan. En el Diablo 3 me pasaba lo mismo. Tengo un Twitter, estoy empezando a usar Twitter, ¿eh? A mí todo esto es nuevo, ¿no? Twitter. Ya para los pibes de hoy es ser re viejo Twitter. Ya el otro día mi novia me dijo, che, ¿sabés que la nueva generación no está usando Facebook? Digo, me estás jodiendo, loco, para mí Facebook es todo, loco. Yo tengo en Facebook mucha página de noticias de videojuegos. En Twitter conseguí un par de cuentas de Twitter que me registré, no sé cómo se dice, que se enfocan en juegos
Do you
de
know where the
RPG.
captain is?
Entonces cuando salen juegos de RPG nuevos o cuando le hacen remaster a juegos viejos o inclusive recomiendan juegos de RPG, eh, te avisa. Y está re bueno porque más de una vez, nada, he conocido videojuegos gracias a a esos lugares, ¿no? En Facebook me pasaba lo mismo. Ah, comerte la porro. Que no tira nada, un souvenir, nada. Voy a grabarlo por las dudas. Bueno, intenté con el Instagram. Tengo Instagram, buscame Carrete Gamer. Y tengo Twitter, Carrete Gamer igual. El Twitter lo encuentro más, me gusta más. Mira cómo lo tiene paralizado la bruja, ¿viste? La bruja, la necromante. Y siempre me morfo la bomba, loco. La cagada de la necro es que no te cura. Así que nada, hay que pensar bien qué vamos a hacer después. Apareció el venoso este, loco. No, mira, la tiene cubierta de hueso, loco.
The prince
Se
is on the move
agarra.
again, and he's not wasting any time.
The puppet he confronts. It is not like the others.
It's more likely to be the puppet master. He looks like a Deadwalker general. He's probably leading the assault on Valvanor.
All of this power he animates with, it belongs to me. It was stolen and twisted by your miserable magicians. It is time to take back what is mine by right.
If you're planning to take care of him like all the others, sounds good to me. Prince Arundel won't last long facing that kind of monster.
He is using more power than thou wilt allow me to deploy.
I can take care of myself, and here's my plan. I'm gonna come at him with everything I've got. Killing their general is gonna screw up our enemies big time. Let's go do it.
La anda. La anda a buscarla, Estoy congelado y encima tengo menos 20 en... Ahí está. Casi lo tenía, ¿Qué le pego? A ver, yo enemigo. No le pego con el hacha así. No sé, igual no sé pelear, pero... Pegale con el filo, loco.
But he seems to want to take revenge personally.
Espera. No tengo pociones de maná. A ver. Empecemos a jugar con esto, loco, Esa. Estoy ralentizado. En serio. Vemos lo tiene, ¿ves? La necro está buena. Chau. Tomá. Una trampa, lo mató. Y sí, le corta la cabeza. ¿O no?
That was one tough death's head, but it won't command anyone now. Without their general, the dead walkers should leave us alone for a while. But they'll reorganize, so we can't stay here.
You're right, mercenary. Let's use the time to leave. It's now or never if we're going to get to Carol.
Elrond.
My father and the armies of the free nations should be there. If we hurry, we may be able to participate in the mother of all battles and finally push back the Ice Lords.
If thou dost throw thyself into this battle, the only thing that thou wouldst find is thy death, and the only chance thou hast for saving this world will disappear with thee. Their armies will not win. He knows this, but that is not what motivates him. He is seeking his father's approval. He wants to buy the crown by delivering us to his king. He believes we are at his command. But he is mistaken. I only serve and live for the world heart. Thy elven city is closer. I can feel it. Forget these suicidal battles. If thou join with them, thy so-called friends will end up turning against thee out of fear or envy.
Sybil would never raise her finger against me. She will back me to the end.
The scribe, who is as pretty as she is innocent. Art thou naive? The scribes manipulated thee in the temple and the swamp. But thou placest thy trust in their leader's daughter? Their leader, whose killer thou doth protect? Thou hast no more choice. Thou must hasten to the world heart and purify it. It is thine only chance. Do combat there, and if thou art not slain, at least one of thy companions, if not all of them, will betray thee to try to control or study the power I bring thee.
Vulcan? Vulcan? You were far away. Is it the demon? He was talking to you, wasn't he?
Yes, it happens sometimes.
You have to make a decision soon. Will you join us in the battle at Caralthas?
I don't know yet.
I understand. It's been a long day. I'll let you think it over for a while. Let me know when you've made a decision.
No, perdí otra misión. Perdí otra misión, loco. Qué piedra, boludo. ¿Te parece a vos? Qué cruel la vida, loco. Bueno, a ver. Ah, sigamos, loco. Hay que seguir.
Do you think we should listen to Prince Arundel and go with him to Karlthas?
The great elven army and what is left of the human army in this part of Vertial are now gathering at Karlthas. Separately, none of these troops stood a chance. But united... well, in any case, it's the only hope we have left. Reinforcements from the Freeborn Blades and Red Scribes will help. And so will you, from what I've seen. And even if I don't approve of all the strategic choices made by my sovereign these last few years, I think he'll rise to the occasion now that he can no longer retreat. He knows the lands around Karlthas perfectly, so I'm sure he will bring the battle onto terrain that will favor us. And since you're curious to know more about what happened to you, my people's scholars are famous. They can surely help you.
You've got it all figured out.
I believe we can manage to hold the Deadwalker army back this time, though it's a bit early to start celebrating.
Do you think we ought to follow the prince to Karlthas?
If you want to get to the World Heart, we'll need to go by there. But the prince's company seems both unnecessary and dangerous. Believe me, I know his type all too well. Invested with a mission he is soon overwhelmed by, probably named by some obscure prophecy. In the name of his family, or because of an idealized vision of his future duties as sovereign, he will give his all. In other words, all his imbecility. Chasing after glory and honor, unprepared and unprotected, he will only lead us to disaster.
Seeing the shit we're in, I don't think he's doing it just for the glory. He's got an interest in having everybody survive.
And in making it look like everyone has survived entirely due to his talents, and not those of a mercenary who can produce flames and defeat a general of the Deadwalkers. Do you really believe he wants you around just because he enjoys your company? Not to mention the increasing threat implied by our friends dressed all in red.
What do you suggest we do?
When we get to Karlthas, we better give them the slip and head to Blackfrost's domain.
Why should we go down there?
Because those lands are positioned quite close to the city of the elves, and like all the lands of the Ice Lords, it's a point of entry into the World Heart.
We'll be able to break camp soon. Where's our next objective?
For now, we're going to stick with the Red Scribes. They haven't paid us yet, and they won't until we reach Karlthas. In any case, that's where we're headed. I sent Wolf on ahead of us a few weeks ago to see if he could find fresh volunteers for us, but I don't think there's much hope of that. This war is looking worse and worse for us. In 10 years fighting, the Deadwalkers haven't lost a single battle. I suppose we could hide for a while. But considering what's left of Vertial, that would be like hiding in a pile of ashes. We have to come up with some alternatives. And for now, I can only think of one. The demon. For the moment, it's the only card we have left to play.
Thy captain is less stubborn than thee. Methinks I should perhaps have chosen him as a vessel.
He is the best weapon we have. Since he's been with me, we've beaten a Juggernaut and a Deadwalker general. He could be the thing that changes the course of this war for us.
I never know if it's you or it that's talking to me. But I feel like we have the same goals. So let's go to Karlthas. We'll link up with our brothers in arms and try to find a way to access the World Heart. I'm not going to pretend this is the best plan I've ever made. To tell you the truth, it's not even a plan. but I guess we're going to have to defer to this demon.
Que la bruja no está, ¿no? La brujita, ¿dónde quedó, loco? Bueno, chamo.
There you are at last. So, have you made your decision?
I will fight with you at Carolthas. Your army may be our only chance of victory.
Idiot! Thou hast sentenced thyself to death. And now?
Now we will go with the others to Carolthas, to swell our ranks, combine our forces, and face the Deadwalker army on equal terms.
Equal terms. Because thou hast slain a vassal far from his master, do not presume too much upon this body. Now draw close to the domain of one of these necromancers. Faced with his power, 1,000 soldiers more or less will make no difference. The power to slay this vermin lies within us. But it cannot be used from such a weak vessel, nor can it even be protected from those who covet it.
I am more and more powerful.
Yes, yet still not powerful enough. And this city is of no interest. The necromancer will lay waste to it with a wave of his hand. While he tarries, thou must make haste to reach his palace.
You said that I lacked the power. I will not throw myself into the wolf's jaws.
When thou returnest to the world heart, none will stand before us. Thou wouldst already possess the power to destroy this sorcerer and his like, if thou hadst but allowed the evolution of this useless body. Look upon thyself. Thou art duped.
Vulcan, have you seen something?
They use thee.
Bueno, acá yo creo que va a tener diferentes finales este juego. Depende de lo que elijas, si querés que el bicho este te consuma más o no. Bueno, nosotros vamos a tener mucho
You
poder.
coming, Vulcan?
Power, power.
Your captain will be wondering where we are.
Huh? Yes, of course. Let's go.
Se parece a Elrond, el de Rivendell. El actor, ¿no?
There you are, sire. Right. Change of plan. Seeing how cold it is, it will come as no surprise to you to learn that the Deadwalkers have already been here. They're still close.
We must rejoin my father's army as swiftly as we may.
I think we already found them. Take a look around us.
There are survivors. Apparently they are camped not far from here. This soldier will lead us to them.
Prince Arundel, my lord, can it be you?
Soldier, what happened here? Is the king with you?
The Deadwalkers took us by surprise. The cold and the ice. We stood no chance. Almost all of the city has been invaded by the ice.
My father, where is the king?
I know not, your highness. But a few of us were able to escape. Lord Commander Valen has built a camp close by the city.
Valen is here. Take us to his camp.
By your leave. Follow me, my lord.
My prince, we had lost all hope of seeing you return safe. We have no word from Bastion.
Bastion is lost, Valen. We came into this war too late. The General of the Alliance gave his life that I should escape with Relmar.
The deserter. What business did he have at Bastion?
The deserter was fighting, while you and your wondrous army waited, warm and safe, sat upon their asses. I hope the result is pleasing to you, Valen.
Silence, both of you. Relmar saved my life, Valen. For now, you will consider him pardoned.
By your will, my lord. And I see that you are escorted by the Freeborn Blades.
In truth, they are escorting the Red Scribes. But their presence is our good fortune. They have already once put the dead walkers to rout in the marshes. This man slew one of their generals before my very eyes. I will tell you more of this later. Now I must speak with my father. Where is he?
No one knows, my prince. The king was still in the royal palace when the river Estelduin fell upon the city.
The river? What happened?
'Twas like a great wave that froze all that it touched. We had seen the approach of the Deadwalkers' vanguard 4 days before, and we had raised Caroltoss's defenses in preparation. Not even the sight of 10 juggernauts would have feared us, but we never dreamt that an Ice Lord would come to lead the assault himself. He walked calmly to within an arrow's flight of the gates, never once speaking. And then, the river rose up from its bed to form a gigantic cloud that hung up over Caroltoss. We understood our peril too late. Near all of our soldiers stood atop the ramparts or in the streets when the ice cloud fell. All were frozen where they stood. That was his signal to launch their assault, but we were already vanquished. We fought to cover our retreat.
We must find the king.
I know, my prince, but every entry to the city is guarded, and we cannot risk being discovered.
It is clear we will not travel 200 paces if we do not first slay the sentinels close to the encampment. Only then will we be able to attempt to enter the city and save your father.
I'll go find your king for you.
Vulcan, did you hear me ask for volunteers? Our mission is over. The Red Scribes have screwed up from start to end. But they're in the hands of the Elven army now.
Captain, since we're here, we may as well make ourselves useful, right? And we have to get inside those walls if we want to know what happened to Wolf and the other blades we left here.
Ah, Vulcan. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into.
That is why I shall go with him. I grew up in this city. We shall help one another.
My prince, you know well it is my duty to object to you taking such a risk.
And you also know that your objections will change nothing. No man here knows the palace better than I. If my father is within, I will find him.
By your word, sire. But I fear most what other things you may find. I can but put my trust in your newfound champion to watch over your highness.
Don't forget, you'll have to deal with those sentinels before you try anything else, Vulcan. Meanwhile, the lads will set up camp near the south gate.
Understood, Captain.
Bueno, a ver. Empezamos el capítulo 2. ¿Cómo perdí esta, loco? Capítulo 2.
Good day, even if the expression isn't necessarily appropriate.
Show me what you...
Alas, not much.
Horrible, boludo. Puedo comprarle este. Ah, no, vale 1029. Olvídate, loco. 1029. ¿Y este loco? Ah, el príncipe. Bueno, vamos a grabarlo. Tiene doble escudo ese, ¿eh? Re duros son, ¿eh?
We'll be watching this sector. Thank you for your help, mercenary.
¿Qué te pasó, loco?
Thanks for the help, mercenary. We're going to keep watching this sector.
Me la comí doblada, ¿no? ¿No? ¿Y ahora?
Mercenary, I owe you my life. I'll never forget that.
How did you get out of your coma in the village?
I don't know. All I know is that I opened my eyes and heard the sound of fighting. I just had the time to grab my weapon and get out into the village square. It looked like the general of the Deadwalkers was waiting for me. Sometimes the sense of duty is more powerful than the pain of wounds.
Maybe the cure we made finally worked.
Relmar told me about that. Maybe you saved my life twice, not just once. Who knows? In any case, I owe you a lot. I won't forget it.
Do you know Relmar well?
I knew him well. A long time ago, when we were young. He and I were milk brothers. We grew up together in my father's palace. But life goes on, and by the time we were adults, we were forced apart. Relmar defied my father's authority and openly rebelled against his people. He betrayed us.
He had a good reason for it.
A good reason? What reason? Dragging us into a war with the Ice Lords without preparation?
It's true that entering this war without preparation would have been madness. At least you're still here, unlike a lot of people. He should have listened to his king.
That's what I believe. We would have been massacred like the others if we had fought from the beginning of the conflict. Relmar betrayed his people, his king, and his best friend. He weakened us by trying to divide us. And understand that I'm not saying this lightly.
Why did the elves enter the war so late?
That decision cost us dearly. It isn't easy to watch the other peoples of Vertiel suffer and fall one after the other. But our king felt that we needed to gain time. We had information about the Deadwalkers that led us to be careful. Long before the war officially began, they were already crushing all of their opponents far to the north.
And you said nothing? You could have warned the other kingdoms.
We told them to avoid the fight, to flee and regroup. They didn't listen to us. So we preferred to stay neutral and not provoke the Ice Lords. They must have known they couldn't defeat us without losing a large part of their strength. So they saved the greatest prize for the last. We thought that our best trained troops could halt them. We underestimated them, and neglected to take into account the fact that each army they defeated made them stronger.
Are you from Carolthas?
Yes, I was born there. I spent most of my life there. Carolthas is one of the most ancient of our cities. We knock things down so seldom that the city is built in layers. But I've unfortunately never visited the underground levels, and I'm unfamiliar with the passageways there. I suppose that's why you asked the question.
I'll be going now.
¿Qué queda, loco? Busca un modo de entrar a la ciudad. Ah, ok. Pero vamos a dejar el capítulo de acá. Si el video te gustó, dale like, compartí, suscribite, activa la campanita que te avise cuando subo videos. Te mando un fuerte abrazo y nos vemos en el próximo capítulo. Adiós.